Hey, welcome to another new creature review. This is Omar. How you doing? Today we are checking out Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Trilogy Autobot Impactor. I'm very excited to have this guy in my collection. I've been wanting to get an Impactor for my collection ever since I saw a third-party figure of him. I don't remember his name though, so if you remember and you really want to get nitpicky, go ahead and put that in the comments. But I've been wanting an Impactor in my collection for a very long time, and I did not want to pay third-party prices. So when I saw this guy on the shelf, I needed to get him. So here he is. Let's check out the box. We've got this nice big product window as per the Siege War for Cybertron Trilogy motif. There we go. We have the artwork on this side. Look at this guy. He looks so gruff. He looks old and grizzled, like Ironhide kind of. He's very he looks very war torn and very weathered. We have our product renders on the back. It's pretty cool. 14 steps. We might transform this guy on camera like we did with Mirage. All right, let's get into this. All right, here he is outside of the box. Let's check out what he comes with. First, he has this little tiny thing. This is supposed to be the hook hand. As you can see, he does not. He has both hands, so his right hand folds in, and we replace it with this. Very cool, very cool. And he has his gun. Very hollow. Looks nice though. Very good. Very good. All right, let's take a look at Impactor himself. Right away, I've got to say I love this color scheme. This purple and yellow. They're opposites. So they work off of each other very well. Makes everything pop out. The paint on his head looks a little bit too shallow there. It looks like the purple's kind of bleeding through just a little bit. It's thick enough. I mean, but another coat of paint would have done this guy wonders. The yellow plastic they use on this guy really pops. It looks cheap, and you're not going to hear me say that in a positive light very often, but I really like how cheap the yellow plastic looks. It has a weird charm to it. I don't know how to explain it. I like it. I like it a lot. His shins kind of remind me of Combiner Wars Swindle, I want to say. They kind of have that same shape. Got some wheels right there. We've got some of that weathering. It's all right. I mean, it looks okay, but the weathering is on top of the yellow instead of underneath, so it looks kind of weird. Got a little gun turret there. I like the molding on this guy all over. Looks good. What did I just do here? There we go. Got more tractor treads. Little hollow, but they fill it out really well. It's only hollow like right there. And inside his shins. Little hollowness. Little hollowness. But they cover it well. I think they cover this really well. Let's look at that blaster on his shoulder. I like that shape, that shockwave shape. Looks really cool. The yellow on his chest, it just looks so shallow. It looks too light. Like one more coat of paint would have been good on this guy. See, the yellow right there is nice and thick. But here and here is just kind of meh. But he looks good. He does. Overall, he looks good. Let's see. His articulation, this thing goes up like that. He has a ball jointed head. Gets full rotation if you need it. His arms. We have a hinge and a swivel. It's cool. We got a mushroom peg swivel at the... Ooh, that's really tight. Oh my gosh. Is that going to turn for me? And it came off. That was not seated all the way. That's what it felt like. So let's see if we can seat that in there. Okay, that's perfect. Okay. It is now seated. Ladies and gentlemen, seated. Okay, he has a single jointed elbow. And he has a wrist that folds out like that. So he has this hand, and this is the hand that gets the hook. Okay, so this shoulder cannon does get in the way of his arm, but I think we're going to be all right with that. I think it's going to be okay. Let's go ahead and switch out his hand. Put the hook. There we go. That looks cool. Very nice. Let's see. What else? Does he have? Yes. It looks like he has a mushroom peg diaphragm swivel right there. And all of his joints so far seem kind of like the mushroom pegs seem really tight. And take that however you want. This right now, it's kind of making me feel a little bit unsure about this guy. Just that the mushroom pegs, like his arm already popped off. Let's see. He has a swivel and a hinge. Goes out. Oh, hear that? He's got soft ratchets in his hips. And he's got a good kick, front and back. Single jointed knee, and he has an ankle tilt and the token move. So that's cool. Very cool. Let's stand him up. All right, we're going to start off size comparisons with a couple of his siege buddies, Mirage and Voyager class Springer. And from Marvel Legends, we have 80th anniversary Thor and Silver Surfer. We've got a couple of MCU figures, Build-A-Figure Thanos and Binary Form Captain Marvel. And finally, from Transformers Cyberverse, we have the Spark Armor figures, Jetfire, Skybite, and Cheetor. All right, let's try to transform this guy. All right, here he is in his tank mode, and that was not as painful as I thought it would be, but there were some places where I was a little bit concerned. Namely, in his shoulders, it made a popping noise that sounded like it didn't belong there, and that kind of freaked me out. There's also a hinge in his waist that if you're not careful, you'll miss, and you'll just bend him at the hips instead. And that will mess up the transformation. Right off the bat, I'm going to say this. This is not the official version. This is a KO version, but it is the same principle. This Impactor reminds me of the Transformers Legends class Megatron. You know, we've got the same turret. We've got the same kind of leg faux panels there, kind of fold up right there and go to the back. It's not so much the same that it's the exact same thing, but I think some of the principles that went into this figure, again, this is a KO, this is not the real thing, sorry Hasbro, this is the only one that I had on hand, but the I think they took some cues from the Legends figure, the Legends Megatron figure, which is cool. You know, it adds for that familiarity. And you know, if something works, you stick with it. So this is good. We've got, let's zoom in on this. Check out the detail. The weathering makes sense here with the tractor treads. You know, I mean, you're not going to be in pristine condition if you're a tank driving around all the time, right? But it looks really cool. You got all these little armor panels right here around the treads. The treads look nice, but you know, if you have weathering on your armor panels, don't you think you'd have weathering on your treads too? I don't know. I'm just being picky. Okay, we got the cow catcher. That looks really nice. I like all the panel lining there. All of the little details. Looks really cool. You got the gun turrets on each side. That looks awesome. I like how they closed this up with the feet. It looks very complete. It's not a big hollow space. Even turning it upside down, it's not very hollow either. But you do have like thigh kibble and stuff. It's not a big deal. You're not going to see a tank upside down unless it's like blown up or whatever. Let's see on the top here. This is one of the articulation points. You have a full rotation on the top turret. And that's really cool right there. Do we have any tip? Yeah, we can tip the front cannon up all the way to the back if you really want to, and it can tip down too. So that's cool. This doesn't move. I mean, the hook can if you really want it to, but I suggest you don't. That was really tight. But the top turret looks really nice. You can kind of see the arms in there. They didn't cover that up very well, but it looks good. It still looks good. Looks like it's ready for some battle. And let's see how well it rolls. Yeah, there's no wobble in that. Feels good. Feels good. Yeah, and all those wheels are turning. All four of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're turning really nice. Very cool. Let's get this guy back into robot mode and we will do our final thoughts. Alright, here he is back in robot mode. What can I say about this guy? He feels good in hand. He's nice and sturdy. He doesn't feel cheap. That yellow does look kind of cheap, but I really like it. It's so charming. I love it. He's really rocking this yellow and purple really well. He's not as hollow as I thought he would be. I mean, he's definitely got his downsides in the hollowness department, but it still feels really solid, and the hollowness isn't as readily showing as some other of the more hollow transformers. He feels good. He feels good. He looks good. If you are a fan of the Wreckers, you would probably like this guy in your collection even more. If you're a completionist, definitely get him. If you're a casual collector, I would recommend him as well. He just feels good. And, you know, he does look kind of generic, you know? So, I mean, he's definitely Impactor. But if you didn't know who he was, I mean, hey, you know, it's a cool robot that turns into a tank. He looks good. He feels good. He's good for the toy box and he's good for the shelf. So that's what I got to say about this guy. All right, that's it for my review. Tell me what you think about this guy in the comments below. If you like this review, give me a like. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I put new stuff up on the channel. Be on the lookout for pictures of this guy on my Instagram and Facebook. And thanks for watching.